Hello there, what's going on everybody? Today we're going to be breaking down all of the Armada news from this past weekend's MiniStravaganza event. What was revealed for Wave 10, and did they talk about anything for the future beyond Wave 10? Well, spoiler alert, no they didn't. We'll talk about more of my thoughts about that towards the end of the video. That may even be a subject for more future videos as to what they're going to do past Wave 10. But for Wave 10 we did get some spoilers. We got about 3 new cards spoiled per ship expansion, which is pretty interesting. We're going to talk about those in today's video. We'll run through all of the 12 cards that were spoiled. Also, if you guys are new here, be sure to check out those links in the description below. We've got links for Discord, merch store links, social media. If you want to follow me on any of these other things, Patreon, Crabbok.com, a lot of free content on Crabbok.com, especially the AI expansion for Armada. If you're in lockdown and you want to play against an AI, there's an AI deck available on my website for free for you guys, so check that out. All right, let's go ahead and dive right into these spoilers. First up, Admiral Yularen. You might remember Wolff Yularen from the Empire. Well, he was also Yularen in the Clone Wars, although I don't think he wore green, so I don't know, I'm not sure 100% about his outfit in this particular image, but yes, he's a commander for the Republic, 24 points. He's got 2 different abilities, and these are both squadron related, but it's nice. I think it's pretty cool. So one of the things he's doing, his first thing is when a friendly ship resolves the squadron command, if they spent a squadron token, you may activate 1 additional squadron. So that's just the first part. And then the second part is that if when a friendly ship does an engineering command, it also can spend engineering points in the following repair effect. Repair squadron, you can spend 2 points to choose a friendly squadron at distance 1 to 3, and they recover a whole point. Now, that's the second part. These are both good things. Let's talk about the second part first. Being able to heal squadrons is a rare thing. Usually only the space station can do that, and some objectives rule out the possibility of healing through the space station. So you're not even guaranteed that when you play Armada that your squadrons are going to be able to heal on the station. So this is a nice way to make sure that you can heal your squadrons and potentially heal them a pretty good amount. An engineering value 4 ship will be able to do this ability twice. Again, there are already 3 different default engineering abilities. They're, discard a damage card for 3 points, gain a lost shield back for 2 points, and then transfer shields for only 1 point. So this is giving you an extra option that you can spend engineering points. You can do this one multiple times. You can mix and match it. If you have 4 points, you might repair a squadron twice. That's this squadron there and then that squadron there, or maybe 2 to Anakin because he got hit a whole bunch. Or I might just do 1 to Anakin and then get a shield back. So I like the engineering aspect of it. That's kind of an all-new type of ability that we haven't really seen any kind of commander do anything like before. The top part is also nice. It's going to let tokens, if you spent a token, you're going to be able to activate 1 additional squadron. So normally a token is just 1. So you're going to get a pretty big benefit off of this, I think 2 different ways. For one, maybe those small command value 1, squadron value 1 type ships, like your consulars and stuff like that. Maybe they'll just push a second squadron by taking a token as opposed to doing their effect. You might have some tricks in, some limitations in doing that though, because if they already have a token, you can't have 2 tokens on a command value 1 ship, but I think that could definitely work. I think that's interesting. This also is going to help your big carriers if they have token generating effects, because now instead of, maybe a squadron value 3 ship being able to just activate 3, now if they also have a token, which they'd normally be able to do dial plus token, which would be 4, now they can actually push 5. So, that's just nice all around, especially if you have token generation and if you want to kind of spread it out. This is also, I think, good if you have some disposable squadrons that might be dying as the game goes on. Sometimes your token generation, it's easier to kind of stock up at the beginning because you can have everybody just take a squadron command turn 1 and then just cash it in for a token, because a lot of times you don't need to forcibly push squadrons too early in the game. Especially on turn 1, you kind of getting set up. It's usually turns 2 or 3 that it really becomes important. So yeah, I think he's going to be really good for helping push squadrons. I think he's going to be good for keeping the Jedi alive. So very cool to see that squadron focus. And one of the things we're going to see that's very much thematic throughout all of these cards is tokens. tokens are so much more important now, and it's not just through a straight up rules change. It's just through the shift of balance in the cards. I think that the Clone Wars has really brought us a big new emphasis on tokens. Next up, Addie Gallia. While defending, when you suffer damage from an attack, you may suffer up to one of that damage on the shields of a hull adjacent to the defending hull zone for each defense token you spent during the spend defense tokens step. If you do, suffer any remaining damage on the defending hull zone. So that's a mouthful. What does that really mean? It's kind of like a way to kind of cheat something that might stop you from doing redirect a little bit. It's also kind of a way to do an additional redirect. Basically, it's a redirect type of effect. And it's not, but again, even if you're accuracy'd out of your redirect, however many tokens you spend, once it's time to actually assign damage, you can suffer however many tokens you spend. Let's say you spent 2 tokens, and after, like, maybe I did a brace and contain or something like that. Then out of however many tokens I spent, which would be 2 in that case, I could suffer 2 damage on an adjacent hull zone. So basically, I can also put some to shields. Whatever is left has to go straight to that hull zone. So yeah, like that's it's just like, to me, it seems just like an extra redirect. Or in the case where I do redirect some to this side, maybe I do a brace and redirect, and I put some on this side. Then I'm also suffering some more over here. So if you do suffer any remaining damage on the defending hull zone, though. So I think that this is kind of saying, like, redirect is probably not one that you'll want to do, because, like, I almost feel like there's going to be some FAQs on this one, maybe, because it's just it's worded in such a tricky way, because when defending, right? So that can be a lot of different when you suffer damage from an attack, and so I feel like redirect happens beforehand. So, like, I'm not actually postponed like any rulings on this one. I think this is one we're going to talk about a little bit more in, like, rules discussion forums and stuff, but or at least in Discord. But yeah, I think this one's going to be really good for people who don't have redirects. I think it'd be really good for that. It also could work well with, like, if you've got, brace and contain, like I was saying, or if you're going up against somebody who's got a lot of accuracies and they're going to, maybe trying to stop your redirect, it can also help you do that. All right, we've got Clone Captain Silver. This guy is really interesting because, by the way, these 3 all come with the Pelta, by the way. So he's going to start with a nav token on him. He's going to cost a nav token to ready him. So he's an exhaustible. And you basically, because he starts with a nav token on him, you get 1 free ready, because you can spend that token. Anything after that, you're going to have to spend nav tokens off of your ship. Again, tokens are a big thing now. So when you execute a maneuver during your determined course step, if you have not resolved a navigation command during this activation, you may exhaust this card to increase or decrease your speed by up to 3. That's a big number. If you do, you cannot resolve a nav command during this activation. You can spend tokens from this card to ready it. He also comes with the Pelta, which this one surprises me because the Pelta's max speed is 2. I'm thinking to myself, all right, even if you're at speed 0 or you want to slow down to speed 0, you only need to go down 2 points. This really makes me think that the Pelta, unless, of course, they just got this wrong and he doesn't come with the Pelta, but he was shown alongside with the Pelta, so they're basically saying he comes in the Pelta. But he just seems like he would work a lot better in the Venator, because, if he's not on a ship that can go speed 3, I feel like you're wasting that ability. Maybe there's going to be a Pelta title or some card with the Pelta that allows a ship to, or at least allows a Pelta to go up to speed 3. There might be a title for that. I could imagine that being something, because, like, something like that, you would really want to be able to control how many ships it could go on, and a title is a very good way to restrict it. It's like, this can only go on 1 Pelta. You can only have 1 Pelta that can go speed 3. Yeah, but this is interesting because you can really slow down and speed up very, very, very quickly. It's like, bam, from complete speed 0, and you don't even have to have a nav command loaded. You can just go boom. This is also good with some of those nasty objectives, like the void, the black hole, right? If you accidentally touch it, boom, you're now all of a sudden you're stuck at speed 0. That's happened to me before, and it's devastating. So he's good insurance against stuff like that. So I like Clone Captain. So you get to use him twice. I don't think you need to use him that much in a game. I think realistically, you'd probably only ever have to use him twice. Like once to maybe, like you're going in at speed 3. Like I really don't think you want him on a Pelt. I think you want him on a Venator or something like that. You know, coming in really, really fast at speed 3 and then poof, stop on a dime. Probably to speed 1 rather than to speed 0, but maybe. And then next turn, then activate him again, and then, you know, speed up to speed 1. So you can spend defense tokens, especially if you're like the last person to activate or something like that. You know, you could maybe afford to slow down to speed 0. I don't know. But yeah, he's pretty cool. I like that you get to use him twice. I think twice is the most you really need to use him, but I mean, he'll also be good for future ships if we get some really fast future ships, and you know, again, eventually too. You might want to put him on a Charger, you know, a C-70 or something like that. Then with the Venator, we got Plocoon. Plo's bros are going to be in full effect here. Plocoon is very much a squadron-oriented commander, so a lot of squadron stuff, a lot of token-focused stuff here. Plocoon is going to be a commander, and he's just like, yeah, I know I'm awesome. He's got those arms crossed. While a friendly squadron is attacking a ship at distance 1 to 3 of a friendly ship, the attacker may add a blue die set to an accuracy icon to its attack pool. That die can't be re-rolled or changed. Cannot be, even by an opponent's effect, right? So even if you are forcing me to re-roll dice, can't change that one. But you can spend, of course, the accuracy. So, and friendly squadrons without Adept gain grit while they're at distance 1 of a friendly squadron with Adept. So 2 different things, which is also nice. So he's given all Jedi intel, basically. That's kind of how he works. But basically he's giving your squadrons an extra die, an extra accuracy. I like that it's not changing a die to an accuracy. You know, this way your squadrons that only have 1 die, they're still going to have that chance to get at least damage through. So you're not losing any damage by using this ability. So I like this guy a lot, and he's going to work really well with other squadron-related cards, which are the other 2 that they showed us. Wolff is another one of those that is going to start with tokens, require tokens to exhaust. He's using squadron tokens in this case. Again, tokens, right? He's a 6-point officer. When you do a squadron command, you may exhaust him. If you do, each of up to 3 squadrons without Adept, so basically you're kind of like your non-Jedi, gain Assault until the end of its activation. And then each squadron that you activate with Assault, that has the printed Assault keyword, can spend a die with either a hit or an accuracy. And you can spend tokens from this card to ready it. So basically he's letting you gain Assault. Wolff is your raid token guy. He is going to be letting your clone squadrons for right now. Now, it's future-proofed, so it could be other folks if you have, like, if they do like a kind of a smugglers and villains kind of pack, then, you know, maybe we'll get some kind of maybe Hondo Anaka will be available for the Republic at some point or something like that, right? But basically he's giving your clones Assault. And again, Assault is the thing that lets you spend a hit from your attack pool to remove that die, so it's not going to deal the damage, but it gives them a raid token. Raid tokens are, and again, raid tokens are also really good at getting rid of tokens because they can't resolve that command, but if they have the same one, they can either get rid of their dial or get rid of the matching token to clear raid tokens. So usually they're going to, if they have the matching token, they're usually going to spend the token to get rid of the raid token rather than spending a dial. Granted, a dial gets rid of all raid tokens, whereas the matching token just gets rid of the matching raid token. But raid is nasty. It stops you from doing that command. So you got to get rid of raid tokens. And we're seeing more and more raid stuff, you know, with Dooku on the Separatist side also. So Wolff could be nasty. And you can use him. You can do him a lot. And it's, you know, you're going to see stuff for the Separatists too. Or, I mean, even for mirror matches. There's so many things that want you to have squadrons, or rather want you to have tokens. Squadron tokens, engineering tokens, nav tokens, all of this stuff. Concentrate fire tokens even for gunnery teams. Maybe you're counting on that. So basically, stopping people from doing certain commands is going to be rough. All right, Socatano. She's again also squadron command. All right, so she's also being, you know, going to work well with Plocoon, just like Wolff is. Of course, Wolff is, you know, one of Plocoon's people. Part of the Wolff pack, all right? Socatano has got the squadron command, each of up to 3 non-unique squadrons that you activate gain Snipe 1 for each die in their anti-squadron armament, up to a maximum of Snipe 3 until the end of its activation. So Snipe is a replacement attack type of effect that's going to allow you to roll 3 blue dice. If you're Snipe 3, you probably don't want to do this with Y-Wings. I think they would only have Snipe 2 because I think they only have 2 anti-squadron dice. But basically everything else would have at least Snipe 3. Of course, if you combine this with certain other cards that can add dice to whenever you attack, because Snipe is considered an attack, so you can potentially roll a 4th die if you have the right upgrades, or you can potentially re-roll stuff if you happen to have Swarm and things like that. If other things are basically anything that affects an attack, or just about everything that affects an attack can also affect a snipe attack, can also affect a counter attack, except you can't counter snipe, and then snipe can potentially get you around other types of things like escort and things like that. So snipe is cool. It lets you kind of get that early attack before moving into engage, which is certainly very cool. She's 6 points, and she's going to let up to 3 people do that, so pretty cool. Pretty cool. And now we got some Separatist cards to talk about. Admiral Trench, who is the nastiest spider in the Separatist Alliance. I think maybe the only spider. He's going to start with 4 dials on him. You're going to set those dials kind of like you would with Thrawn. I've compared this guy to Thrawn a lot this past weekend. At the start of each ship phase, you may reveal and discard 1 command dial from this card. So let's just say engineering. If you do, until the end of the round, when a friendly ship spends only a matching command token to resolve a command, that ship resolves that command as if it had spent a dial and a token of the same type instead. So we talked about tokens, right? Trench wants your fleets to have lots of tokens. He also wants you to plan out to try to be like, okay, well, if we're going to do engineering on turn 2, right, or maybe turn 3, I want everybody to have an engineering token by then. And I want everybody to have planned a different command by then, because we're going to get a free dial plus token. And it's not going to help you if you already have an engineering dial coming up, because you can't have 2 dials. And it says if you only are using a token, you can then treat it like a token plus dial. But it has to match the one that he's got. So there's a lot of setup, but he kind of reminds me of Thrawn because he's given out an extra dials to these ships, but it takes a lot more prepping, a lot more things to line up. And in this wake of all these different raid tokens that can potentially be thrown on ships, whether it's through somebody like Wolff or whether it's through going up against somebody like running Count Dooku, it's going to be harder and harder to make this all work out exactly the way you want it to work. But no, this is really good because engineering is probably one of the best examples, because a token for engineering just does half of your engineering value, but now you're going to get your full value plus that. Actually, it's going to be really good if you have squadrons too. I think it'll be really good for pushing squadrons. If you had, I was only going to be able to activate 1 squadron, boom, I've got squadron value 3, so now I can do 4. So that pushes it from like 1 to 4. If you're able to line it up to have the token and to not do that. I usually go with, I think, somebody who's running squadrons is probably just going to dial in squadron commands the whole time anyway. So this is, might add some unnecessary complexity to somebody who's running squadrons a lot. Depending on, how many comms nets you have, you can put comms nets on hard cells. So maybe, if you want those squadrons to just keep dedicating themselves to squadron commands, those carriers to keep doing squadron commands, maybe this is a good way for you to be able to repair yourself with a little bit more efficiency by saying, okay, we're going to pass off some engineering tokens, and then boom, here's a big trench turn where everybody now gets a big fat engineering turn as opposed to just using a token. So he's going to be interesting to see how easy he is to work with. I think he'll be tricky to work with if you don't have a lot of token generation. But again, if you're planning well enough in advance, I think he's going to have a little bit of a learning curve. I don't think he's going to be a good commander for brand new players to start with. Heck, he might be a challenge for veterans to master as well. But I think he's going to be pretty fun and high rewards if you can play him right. We got an officer there, the TI-99. This is, I believe, still from our Providence, cards that are coming with the Providence class, the Invisible Hand expansion. He's going to be a 4 cost officer for the Separatists, while a friendly unactivated squadron at distance 1 to 3. While a friendly unactivated squadron is at distance 1 to 3, it gains counter 3. Or if it already has counter printed on it, it gains an additional counter 1. After it performs a counterattack, toggle its activation slider to the activated side. So he's giving you really good counter for your squadrons, but they may not get to activate at all in the first place. This guy is interesting. It's what's really nice about TI-99 is that if somebody was going to come in and just kill one of your vulture droids before it could do anything, you can be like, well, in that case, they're going to counter 3. So you at least get that. You get to at least fire once with somebody that you might have lost anyway. I'm not super crazy about this guy because I feel like bringing him on board, he is like planning for failure. He's planning for your opponents to be able to get in and get to you before you get to them. Unless, of course, you are just running a very small squadron presence that is just there to slow down enemy squadrons, especially if you're also planning to flak after your opponent comes in and takes some counter damage after taking out your little escort. So could be could still have some use. Then we've got Takei's. Takei's from that Mon Calamari arc with Akbar and the Clone Wars. I think that was in Season 3. When you reveal, maybe Season 4. He's a 2-point officer. When you reveal a command, you may place a matching command token on this card. If you do, gain a command token of your choice. During the command phase, if you have a command token on this card, you must choose that command on each command dial that is to be assigned to you and show those dials to your opponent, then discard that command token. So this guy, he's taking whatever ship you put this guy on, he's kind of locking that ship into, like, if you decide you want to get free tokens, like, I'll say, hey, I'm doing concentrate fire this turn. Boom, here's a concentrate fire. I'll put a concentrate fire command on this card. Now I get a token of my choice. This can work really good with Trench because I can get a token every single turn. So I can get that squadron token every single turn, right? But then when I have to set a dial, I have to set it to concentrate fire or whatever I did last turn. So he's kind of preventing me from changing up my plan. So I have to keep doing the same command over and over again. But at the same time, I'm getting a token of my choice each turn. So this is really, I think he's going to work really, really well, with Trench. But he also kind of leaves you vulnerable to any kind of token stripping effects, and it makes it more difficult for you to change your plans long term. He might be pretty good for a Command 1 ship. He might be a little trickier for the larger command ships, unless of course you've got some unless you've got just a rock solid plan of wanting your carriers to also have concentrate fire, which I think actually the Separatists do have a lot of options that would be really nice for carriers that want to concentrate fire and also activate squadrons every turn. He could be really, really perfect for that, but also delicate because if things go wrong, you'll have a much harder time adjusting. And then with our Recusant 3-ship or 3-card preview from what comes with the Recusant, we're getting Mar-Tuk, who is maybe my favorite commander ever. When you're attacking another ship, you're going to get a bonus red die. Boom, right away. If they have shields where you're attacking. And since oftentimes they do, people like to keep their shields up. This one's just going to cause people to really think, like, do I even want to spend defense tokens, or do I just want to let this damage through? And like, please, yes, just let the damage through. I would love that. So that's going to be exciting. Also, when a friendly ship is attacking a ship that has no shields remaining, after rolling attack dice, the attacker must cancel one attack die. So if you've taken out all the shields of a defender, you're gonna have to lose a die, but you get to pick which die you cancel after you roll dice. So you can pick that blank that you had no way of re-rolling. So the drawback's not that bad. If you were watching the live streams too, they kind of said, oh, if you're attacking a hull zone that has no shields remaining, you lose a die. And that's not exactly accurate, because most times, once you get that hull zone down and you're still firing down on that weakened side, a lot of times there's still shields on the opposite hull zone, right? A lot of times these ships have shields remaining elsewhere. So in that case, it would just be a net zero effect. You wouldn't have to remove a die, but you also wouldn't add a die. So there's actually 3 stages to it. The top part is bonus die. Then the bottom part is lose a die, but there's a middle section of nothing happens. I think it's just great. I think he's awesome. 28 points is not even that expensive for somebody who's getting you a bonus die on potentially all of your ship's shots for the first half of the game. So really cool. Really cool. We're getting Pascal Argente. I love this guy. Again, kind of goes into the whole token thing. Again, when you reveal a command, you may place a matching command token on this card. Now, this doesn't go on your ship. This goes on the card. So you have to reveal a command to do this. So you're not just going to be able to pass tokens over to it, because when you, like with CommsNet, you're putting a token on a ship. You're not putting a token on a card. So this is going to take 4 turns to charge up. Once it charges up, though, then if you have at least a nav, squadron, concentrate fire, and engineering command token on this card, you may gain an additional command dial of your choice. So you're going to get 2 dials for, the second half of the game. So because it says then, because you get to like that. Basically, the problem is turn 4, when usually there's a lot of action. On turn 4, the first thing you're going to do is put that 4th token on him. Then you gain a matching command dial, so of your choice too. So you wouldn't even have to pick that command. So this guy's really cool. He takes half the game to charge up. I think it's still a pretty good thing, because usually the first turn of the game there's not much happening. In a lot of games, the second turn of the game there's not much happening. So your biggest weakness with this guy is going to be on turn 3, where you're almost fully charged but still not getting that bonus dial. The only real drawback for this guy is that he is a 6-point officer, so he's a little on the expensive side, but I think he's beautiful. I think he's wonderful. I'm really excited for this guy. Especially if he's on like a flagship too, that's going to now be able to get, like, on turn 4, he's going to get bonus engineering for the rest of the game, so they're going to be just healing damage, healing things up like crazy. Very cool. And then San Hill, who's going to start with 2 squadron tokens. He's a 3-point officer. At the start of the squadron phase, you may discard any number of tokens, so 1 or 2, because these aren't. There's currently nothing that we've seen that allows you to put more tokens on a card like this, and that blue is just, it starts the game with that. For each token you discard this way, 1 additional squadron at close range of you may be activated during each of your fleet's turns to activate squadrons this phase. So this guy's good if you're not using squadron commands to activate your squadrons. So if you're doing something like the hyperwave signal booster, or you're running kind of a strange, like, I'm not really crazy about this guy, because I think if I'm running squadrons, I want to have enough squadron commands to activate my squadrons. But it's an alternative way to play, and I think maybe maybe not enough people really think about just having squadrons that are just gonna go on their own. He'll be really, really good once we get a lot of rogues for the Separatists. So I think that's going to make him really powerful. But he's maybe that's the thing. The banking clan. He's the banking clan guy. Maybe he hires rogues. I think this is almost confirmation that Jango Fett will be in the next squadron pack. I mean, not really confirmation, but it's maybe soft confirmation, kind of like how Wolff is talking about squadrons with assault, and none of them have assault, so maybe that means the Lat is coming with assault next squadron pack. I think that'll probably be what's coming next. So that's it for all the previews that we got. They didn't talk about anything after Wave 10, so I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. It doesn't really seem like there's a dedicated Armada dev right now. It seems like they're all kind of pitching in, and everybody kind of helps out with everything, which is not what I'm used to, so it has me kind of cautious, not sure what to make of that, but I guess we'll wait and see. Maybe the future will change. Maybe they'll come out with something really cool soon. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Next big news announcement might not be until Gen Con, but we'll have to wait and see. We got all these expansions are coming out next month, so then we'll have unboxings, we'll have reviews, we'll have all kinds of good stuff like battle reports and all of that stuff. All right, guys, that's all I've got. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are amazing and help make this channel possible, so thank you for your continued support. I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much. Be sure to check the links in the description below, and as always, have a great day.